Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Going to be giving you my predicted 11 for Manchester United's game against Southampton this Sunday. So in goal, David De Gea. David De Gea was in goal for the game against Leeds last weekend. Didn't really have much to do. Couldn't do out about Luke Ayling's goal, and he made a couple of saves to deny Jack Harrison and Click. De Gea is going to remain at Manchester United for this season. Earlier on in the summer, De Gea decided to cut short his holiday by 2 weeks to fight for a starting place. It said De Gea is determined to fight for his future. De Gea has been at Manchester United since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. He's endured 10 years at the club, so he's been a long servant, and this season is his 11th season. I still highly rate David De Gea despite the mistakes he's made in the last couple of years. A few years ago, De Gea was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world. He's won everything domestically at the football club. He's made over 500 appearances for Man United in all competitions. De Gea's got like 2 years left on his contract and he's on £375,000 a week. When De Gea does leave Man United, there's a very good chance he'll go back to Spain. The reasons are because he's born in Spain, his relatives are from Spain, his girlfriend's from Spain, he began his footballing career in Spain, and back in 2015 he was very close to joining Real Madrid, but due to fax machine on deadline, his move to Real Madrid didn't materialise. If we was to sell De Gea next summer, I reckon we'd get from between 40 to 50 million. We'd certainly get a lot more than what we paid for him. At right back, Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka obviously played in the Leeds game last week, did quite well. There's probably still aspects of Wan-Bissaka's game that's got to improve. Maybe he's got to show more attacking intent, maybe his crossing needs to improve a bit more. But defensively, Wan-Bissaka has always been superb, and Bissaka is one of the best right backs we've had since Gary Neville. This is Bissaka's third full season at Man United. We got him in a deal worth 50 million from Crystal Palace back in the summer of 2019. The two centre-halves, I'm going to go with Raphael Varane and Harry Maguire. I'm expecting Raphael Varane to make his debut in this game. Raphael Varane to Man United was official just before kick-off against Leeds last weekend. The Raphael Varane announcement was delayed at one point due to the image rights, and don't forget Varane had to quarantine in Manchester. And not so long ago he completed his medical. We got Varane for £34 million. Also add-ons are included, so it rises up to like 43 million. Varane signed a 4-year contract with Man United. There's an option of a further year. And Varane is wearing the number 19 shirt. I hope Varane starts, but if he doesn't start, I think he still will be involved in the game. I think he'll come off the bench. Not so long ago, Varane completed his first training session at Carrington. But like I mentioned, Varane is our third signing of this summer transfer window. Varane is regarded as one of the best centre-halves in the world. He's highly experienced and he's got a very good pedigree as a player. Because Varane won a lot of trophies when he was at Real Madrid. But I think at Man United he'll replicate what he did in his years with Real Madrid. Varane endured 10 years with Real Madrid. He made 360 appearances in all competitions, and his current contract at Real Madrid was due to expire next year. But what a centre-back partnership that is, Varane and Harry Maguire. They'll complement each other very well. Harry Maguire, he played in the game against Leeds last weekend. I thought he did well. He made some vital interceptions and he brought the ball out well from the back. We should now get the best out of Maguire anyway, with obviously Varane alongside him. Maguire's had his good games at Man United. He's also had his bad games. He was a big miss for us towards the end of last season because he had ligament damage in his ankle. Maguire did very well with England throughout the Euro tournament. We overpaid for him though. We got him in a deal worth 80 million from Leicester. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment and the second most expensive signing at the club. At left back, Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw put a good performance out against Leeds last week. Got into very good positions. He was very good in the attacking third of the pitch. Shaw also had a very good chance in the game, but it hit the side netting. So on Sunday, Shaw's going to be reuniting with Southampton, because he used to play for Southampton before he came to us. I'm expecting Shaw to enjoy a good season. Shaw was exceptional last season for Man United. In fact, he was the best left back in the Premier League, and Shaw's been our first choice left back for a while. He still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Telles. Shaw's been at Manchester United for a good 7 years or so now. And I reckon he's had a good career at the club despite his injuries. So yeah, that's the back four. In the midfield, I'm going to go with Fred and Scott McTominay. Fred obviously was involved in the game against Leeds last week, and Fred got his name on the score sheet. He put a very good second half performance out. Fred can be good when he wants to be, but I do have my reservations about him. We overpaid for Fred. We got him in a deal worth 52 million from Shakhtar Donetsk. And McTominay, obviously he played in the game against Leeds last week. Weren't bad, but weren't brilliant either. McTominay needs more time at the club. He's been part of the club for a long time as it stands. You know, McTominay's still young, got a lot of development in him. Can McTominay emulate that level where I want him to be at? Just after the first lockdown last year, he signed a 5-year contract with Man United, so reflecting on that, he committed his future to the club. Ahead of Fred and McTominay, I'm going to go with Bruno Fernandes in the number 10. The number 10 is his predominant position. Bruno Fernandes was exceptional against Leeds last weekend, got his first Manchester United hat-trick. In most of Bruno Fernandes' games at Manchester United, he's been very, very consistent. There has been a few games where he has looked off the pace, but Fernandes is our best player and he's one of the best signings we have made since Ferguson retired. Fernandes has been at Manchester United over a year and a half now. Last season he won Player of the Year and he's won Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. On the right hand side, I'm going to go with Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho came on last weekend against Leeds and made his debut for the club, which was good. Prior to the Leeds game though, Jadon Sancho's debut was in doubt because Solskjaer said that Jadon Sancho had been feeling a little sick, and he said he'd only been able to complete one full training session. But yeah, Sancho should be making his full Premier League debut on Sunday. Jadon Sancho to Man United was confirmed on the 23rd of July. Got Sancho in a deal worth £78 million, add-ons were included. Sancho's got a contract with Man United until June 2026. There is an option of a further year. And I said Sancho will do well at Man United providing that Solskjaer uses him right. So yeah, him on the right hand side. On the left hand side, Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba was fantastic against Leeds last weekend. You know, Paul Pogba got 4 assists in the game. He also should have got his name on the score sheet because he had a fantastic chance. He was one-on-one with Mejele, but he put it wide. I prefer Paul Pogba in more of an advanced role. Now earlier on today I gave you the news on Paul Pogba. The Athletic said that Man United is set to make Pogba the highest paid player at the club with a new 5-year contract worth £400,000 a week. Paul Pogba's current contract at Man United expires next summer. Solskjaer did recently say that he's confident that Pogba will extend his contract. He did recently say that Pogba's set to not sign a new contract this summer, but Paul Pogba's refused to rule out a new deal. Before the start of the season, Pogba rejected a new contract at Man United. Before the Leeds game though, Solskjaer did say he was relaxed over Paul Pogba's media. He relaxed over media magnate Paul Pogba. But Pogba is expected to stay at Man United for at least this season. Now, Sky Sports said the other day that Pogba is very likely to leave Man United on a 3 next summer when his contract expires, and it said Pogba is set to join PSG on a 3. PSG are pushing to sign Pogba next summer, and PSG are prepared to offer Pogba a £510,000 a week contract to prize him away from Man United. PSG's move for Pogba this summer hit a stumbling block as PSG got Lionel Messi. Before the start of the season, it did actually say that Pogba can see a long-term future at Man United but may wait on the contract extension. But before the start of the season, Solskjaer did reveal that he had positive talks with Pogba over his future. This is Pogba's 6th season at Man United. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far, and Pogba's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. We had Pogba when he was a lot younger under the Sir Alex Ferguson era, but we had to let him go due to limited appearances. And Mino Raiola has obviously been working hard to get Pogba out of the club. He did a lot of talking last season, and he made an announcement back in December last year regarding Pogba. He said Pogba's career at Man United was over. He said he was unhappy and he has to leave, and he had no intentions of extending his contract. Mino Raiola doesn't have a good relationship with Man United, so we've been very critical of him. So yeah, Pogba on the left hand side, and up top, Mason Greenwood. Mason Greenwood scored against Leeds last weekend. Also should have had a couple of other goals because Greenwood had 2 early chances against Leeds and one came from a mistake from Leeds. Greenwood has been an absolute revelation since he broke into our senior squad, but at one point it did go a while without scoring. Greenwood made his senior debut for Man United back in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7, so he's been part of the club for a long time, and last season Greenwood signed a new 4-year contract. Solskjaer said not so long ago that Greenwood has turned into the top man. So that's how I think Man United will line up against Southampton on Sunday. By the way, that is a 4-2-3-1 formation. You know, we use that formation a lot anyway. We do have some players out. Obviously there's no Marcus Rashford. He's out until October with a shoulder injury. Don't forget, earlier on in the summer, Rashford decided to have surgery on his shoulder. Alex Telles is still out. He sustained an ankle injury in training a few weeks ago. Dean Henderson, he's still recovering from COVID. Lingard also had COVID as well. I don't think he's got it now, so he could be involved in this game. Edison Cavani, he's also been out as well. Eric Bailly, he was out, but I think he's now back. Phil Jones, he's just come back from injury. So there you go. This game against Southampton is our first away game of the Premier League season. I'm expecting Man United to win. You know, we've had a good start to the season. We beat Leeds last week 5-1. And we recently beat Burnley 3-1 in that friendly game, which was played behind closed doors. Plus we've got a very good away record in the Premier League. Last season went the entire season without losing away from home in the Premier League. Southampton, they lost their opening game last weekend against Everton. It was 3-1 to Everton. Like I mentioned on the preview, I think Southampton are going to really struggle this season. Obviously they lost Danny Ings to Aston Villa this summer, and Danny Ings was definitely one of Southampton's key players. They also lost Bertrand. He was another one of their key players. Bertrand went to Leicester. They also lost Vestergaard, and he went to Leicester, and Vestergaard was one of Southampton's key players. But Southampton have lost a lot of good players, haven't they? You know, they lost Cedric Soares to Arsenal. They lost Holberg to Tottenham. They lost Luke Shaw to us back in 2014. They lost the likes of Virgil van Dijk quite a few years ago to Liverpool. They lost Dejan Lovren. They lost Nathaniel Klein. They went to Liverpool. Also lost Adam Lallana. He went to Liverpool from Southampton. They lost Sadio Mane. He also went to Liverpool from Southampton. Liverpool have done good business with Southampton in recent years. Really have. And Southampton also lost Charlie Austin. Southampton made a few signings in the summer though, didn't they? They brought Adam Armstrong in. They brought Valentino Livramento in. They brought Armando Broja in. And they brought Romain Perraud in. Southampton did have Mina Mima on loan, but now he's gone back to Liverpool. By the way, Theo Walcott is now back at Southampton. He was with Everton last season. One of Southampton's key players is Nathan Redmond. I do highly rate him. Stuart Armstrong is also quite good. Shane Long, Southampton have also got him. They've also got Obafemi, he's good. They've got Che Adams. They've got Teller. They've got Bednarek. They've got Romeo. Romeo was out with injury for a while last season. They've also got James Ward-Prowse. He's one of Southampton's key players. I think he's been out with injury. Southampton have got Smallbone. He's out with injury at the moment. I think he's out until September. Southampton have also got Kyle Walker-Peters. They've got Jack Stevens. They've got Forster. He's, I think, their first choice keeper. They've got Harry Lewis and Alex McCartney. Sally Sue as well, they've got him. So there you go. Southampton's manager is Ralph Hasenhüttl. He's been Southampton manager now for quite a few years. He has transformed Southampton to his credit. He's got a contract with Southampton till 2024. I'd say when Southampton were consistent, when they had Mauricio Pochettino. Pochettino, when he was at Southampton, he guided Southampton to their highest ever finish in the Premier League. I think he got them, on 8th place finish. We beat Southampton in this game last season, 3-2. We overcame a 2-goal deficit, and we thrashed them at Old Trafford 9-0. And that was the first time we'd scored 9 goals since the 9-0 win against Ipswich back in 1995. Southampton haven't beaten us since January 2016. The next game after Southampton is Wolves away. We should be winning that. Then after Wolves it's Newcastle, then it's West Ham. So we should win our next 4 games. We are top of the Premier League at the moment. You know the news on the transfers, don't you? Solskjaer has confirmed that he wants to make one more signing in this summer transfer window, but who's it going to be? You know, I think Solskjaer's priority is to get a midfielder in, and there has been quite a few midfielders on our agenda. Now, it's just good now that we're offloading some players, so it gives us much more chance of getting that final signing on the board. There's 2 weeks left of the summer transfer window. Before the start of the season, Solskjaer spoke out on Man United's transfer plans, and he did say any more signings would be a bonus for Man United. Solskjaer has been very pleased with our summer transfer business this summer. And Man United have enjoyed a good summer transfer window. We've made 3 signings in this summer transfer window so far. We brought Tom Eaton in on 3 from Villa. We brought Jadon Sancho in from Borussia Dortmund. And we also brought Rafael Varane in from Real Madrid. So we spent almost 120 million, or is it 120 million we've spent? This has been Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as permanent Manchester United manager. You know, it's good to see that Solskjaer has received the backing he deserves. Because Solskjaer wasn't backed enough for such a long time. Surprisingly, our owners, the Glazers, have backed Solskjaer only because they've been persuaded to. Woodward has said several times before that he'd back Solskjaer. John Murtough, he's played a part in Solskjaer getting the players he wanted in. John Murtough is our director of football, and Man United certainly made the right decision getting a director of football in, because I did mention that's one of the structural changes that we needed at the club. And plus Darren Fletcher, he's part of the club as well. This season is absolutely massive for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he's aware of that because he's got big expectations to exceed. Solskjaer's ambition for this season is to win the Premier League. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. Before the start of the season, Solskjaer talked up Man United's title hopes, like I updated you on, and he said he knows the pressure is on, and he said Man City are the favourites, but the title race is open. What a remarkable achievement it would be if Solskjaer was to win the Premier League this season. But Solskjaer basically has to win a trophy this season to save his job at Man United, because he's not yet won a trophy as Man United manager, and we haven't won a trophy since 2017. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. This season is Solskjaer's third full season as Man United manager. The news on Andres Pereira. Andres Pereira is close to joining Flamengo on loan. Flamengo have an option to buy Pereira for €15 million, and Flamengo will pay a loan fee of £850,000 to Man United. It's the right decision to loan Pereira out anyway. It'll be his fourth loan spell. The news on Brandon Williams. Looks like he's going out on loan to Norwich. Looks very likely that Amad Diallo's going out on loan. So there you go. But I am expecting to see some more departures in this summer transfer window. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.